Well, right now, what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about the context of this infrastructure conference and why we are doing this. As the mayor mentioned, last year was our first conference of this sort, and it was many of you, or some of you actually, were there. And so we decided that green infrastructure falls perfectly within all of the efforts that we're doing, not only in certification of projects, but also in technical assistance. It took us about 6 months to develop this agenda. And if you look at the agenda, we did it in a way that addressed many of the observations and accomplishments from our last Green Infrastructure Conference. When we had our last Green Infrastructure Conference in Ciudad Juarez, we had a panel that advises as to how we can go about implementing this. And they basically said 3 things. One is we need to educate. We need to educate communities. We need to educate society. We need to educate contractors. The second thing that they said is that we need to update municipal code to increase this. If not, it gets very difficult for contractors to compete if it's not within the municipal code and consequently within the design. And finally, we need to pilot it. We need to show good case studies. We need to show results where people can actually see this. So right now, we're of this 3-phase approach, we're at 1.5. We're educating, which is why we're here. And so the agenda includes infrastructure and flood control. We're going to have some very good case studies associated with that. But if you don't have native vegetation or are not knowledgeable, it's very difficult to implement. So the next item has to deal with native vegetation. The other benefit or co-benefit aside from stormwater management that comes with this, and you'll see in the case studies before and after photos, is the health benefits. What are the health benefits of having living, breathing organisms around you, of having green versus no green? We all know that we like to have trees around us and green infrastructure and green vegetation is not vegetation for the rich. It's a vegetation for everyone. And it can be done for everyone and be equitable. The other item we have on the agenda is road design. Road design, I'm an engineer, so we have to get to the nitty-gritty of the engineers and actually learn how to implement this. So there'll be some items on road design. And then for all of the naysayers that say this is a waste of money, this is a waste of money, we have a panel on the economic benefits that come along with this infrastructure. So that's the education piece. And then finally, we also are going to have a panel on municipal code. We are developing some guidelines for Mexico because guidelines for updating municipal code in the United States already exist through EPA. And we're doing the same thing now and doing 6 case studies on municipal code in Mexico and what needs to be done to update municipal code in order to ensure that. Is my presentation up yet? I don't see it. Oh, is that okay? Okay, that's it. So just very quickly, this is just so I'm not going to go into much into the statistics as far as what we've done. We've certified 251 projects with NatBank financing going to about 100 and almost 200 for a financing of 2.2 billion and 8.7 billion in total investment. As you can see, technical assistance is a very important part of what we do. What I want to show with this is that these are the benefits, the social and environmental benefits that come along with water and wastewater, solid waste, air quality, conservation of energy, and conservation of water and renewables. Renewables is a very important element of what we do. But air quality, if you can see here, is that we've actually worked on several air quality projects, primarily paving, that have benefited 7.5 million residents. What I want to show with this is that if you look down the second to the last point is that there's 9 million square meters of roads paved. And so paving is a very important element, but along with paving comes stormwater management, and more paving and more stormwater that you have to manage. And this is why we're doing this today. This is some thoughts about green infrastructure, some before and after, and you'll see lots of pictures of this today. But this is why we're doing this. Our offices are located in Ciudad Juarez. Every time God barely rains, it is flooded. It is flooded, and there are so many issues. These issues happen 5 to 7 days in a year, and everybody forgets about it. And so that's probably why we don't work on green infrastructure as much as we like. But this is what we're trying to address. Stormwater, air, there's benefits in air quality as far as reduction of erosion, health benefits, economic benefits. And yesterday, when I did a tour, I did a pre-tour in order to prepare for the tour on Thursday, I also learned one very important thing, is that erosion control for protecting water and your wastewater collection systems is fundamental. This is another co-benefit that I see that could come from this. One of the biggest complaints we get from the juntas municipales, the CONAPAs, the utilities, is that erosion from unpaved roads or stormwater runs into the sewer systems and ruins the sewer systems, and then there's associated costs with that. So that is another co-benefit that we don't have in this presentation that I hope some of the speakers will be able to hit upon, because there has been a lot of work done in increasing water and wastewater coverages along the U.S.-Mexico border, and erosion is really impacting that. So with that, I conclude my presentation.